Do you guys know what the big news is? Do you guys know what the big news is? The big news that just hit the gaming atmosphere? Do you know what the news is? Rooster Teeth is back! Whoa! Rooster Teeth is back! That's right! Burnie bought Rooster Teeth, the IP, and bought it back up. Not all of the intellectual property, but at least the main Rooster Teeth. Did I even meet Burnie? How dare you disrespectful little I actually did. Yes, I actually met with Burnie a couple times, actually. He's actually really nice to me, so go yourself. How dare you? Burnie was there when we pitched the cowchop stuff, I'm pretty sure. I hope Funhaus gets to come back too. I saw this. People were talking about it in my Discord, so I wanted to like look into it, but there wasn't really like a lot. They released like a podcast that was only like 10 minutes long that I listened to about the acquisition and shit like that. So there wasn't really too many details that were like released about it, other than the fact that they stressed to not bug like former employees about returning, and the fact that like some intellectual property that was a part of Rooster Teeth is already gone. Like some of that stuff already got sold off, like stuff like Ruby and shit like that are gone. They're like already bought and with a separate company. This is like strictly just the Rooster Teeth brand and like the socials and stuff like that. So it's just like the main thing. It might not necessarily even cover Achievement Hunter. It might not even cover like some of the other fucking like spin-offs. But again, like he only released like a 10-minute podcast talking about it. And I think those were like the main 2 points. I feel like for a lot of people, like their first instinct is going to be like, when does such and such go back and all of that, which is probably why they had to stress that on the podcast. But to be realistic though, I feel like it's going to be a really hard sell for people to probably go back. And so I feel like people really need to like lower expectations, and then if like any surprises happen within there, like, you know what I mean, then it'd be good, I guess, or whatever. But like a lot of people have kind of gone off, and people are streaming now, people are making their own content now on YouTube and stuff like that. And if they went to, you know, say like the Funhaus guys, I still like to this day, I think all the Funhaus people are literally probably the most like talented people in this. I don't know what the fuck you would call it. They're doing other stuff now and other projects now. It'd be a hard sell to be like, hey, come work for this company 9 to 5 for a regular salary, when you can literally do your own thing, make your own hours, more times than not probably end up getting paid more. Going through those ventures and doing all of that on your own accord is like probably still better for everybody individually. You know what I mean? Jeff earlier said that he doesn't plan to be involved. Yeah, I don't really expect a lot of people that were probably within the company to especially when people are already branching out and doing other things. I just don't think like I feel like it would just be a hard sell. What does that mean for me? Oh, I'm like, I was just a partner. I didn't work at the company or anything like that. I mean, we visited on occasion and we did some filming there and stuff like that. Like we visited all the time, but we were just like a partner. We still like maintained our individuality pretty much, because that was like a key point in it. And I think in some ways it helped, and in some ways it hurt, you know? James is the main investor now, actually? No way. I like the idea of being in the position that Jeff was in, pretty much. I would like to do something like that one day, or at least I've wanted to do something like that. That's the only thing that I think that really has interest for me. Kind of like eventually being a bit of like a, you know, like just an overseer that helps with content creation. And like, you know, there's people that maybe want to make content creation their thing, and maybe they don't have the proper backing, etc., to do so. I mean, for me, that's kind of what I wanted to do with cowchop in the first place, right? Was like the people like Trevor and Joe and Jacob and those guys, like I wanted to basically like, you know, after a few years pass the mantle on, still be around, still be in stuff, you know what I mean? But like eventually kind of like be like, younger generation is at work now. You guys are more in tune than I am, but I'm still here kind of thing. You know what I mean? But obviously it doesn't really work when, and I've talked about it before, it doesn't really work when they don't want it. You know what I mean? I think that's where like the disconnect is, I think, a little bit there, obviously, for cowchop. But I still like the idea. I still like the idea for myself eventually, like being in kind of a Jeff role. I know that was probably super stressful for him, and that was probably just like hell on him. That's probably why he probably wouldn't want to do it again. But I'm pretty sure those guys were like around the same age though as I am now when it came to them doing that stuff though. So it's something, you know, it's something to think about, you know. Yeah, old motherfucker. What the fuck? I think it's cool that Burnie has ownership over everything again. I'm just like wondering what his plan would be with everything. Maybe they're not even in his podcast. He talked about basically doing like more film-esque stuff, like kind of movie type deal, you know what I mean? Like filming shit, and didn't really touch on like gaming that much. So I don't even know if like this new iteration of Rooster Teeth, like him buying it back and all that stuff, if he even currently has gaming as like a part of the slate of content going forward, you know? I feel like you might get nostalgia Andes, but won't retain people coming back for Rooster Teeth. Like I said, I think it's gonna be a bit of a tough thing. I feel like a lot of people are gonna like look to see what kind of content gets made or whatever. But like, I mean, the channel itself has almost 9 million subs, so I mean, it's not like they're starting at nothing, you know what I mean? Whatever projects they put out, I'm sure it'll garner a lot of interest at the start. It's just like the direction, I guess, that Burnie decides to, you know, take it. To me, it seemed like from the podcast though, it seemed like the initial projects are mostly like cinematic based. How did Rooster Teeth fall actually? WB killed it after not being profitable for years. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of any of it, but looking at like their slate of content and stuff that like was getting produced over the course of those like last couple months, I feel like there was like too many projects that were like kind of outside of what you would expect from the Rooster Teeth brand. It's like I get branching out to try to bring in some new faces and stuff like that, but it felt like there was like stuff that literally was like, what is this? You know what I mean? Like this doesn't even, you know, yeah, too many channels, groups within groups. Like there was like a lot of like sub projects and stuff like that, and it like kind of like spread a little too thin. There was like so much stuff that didn't seem like it was like even connected to Rooster Teeth at all at that point. This is pretty interesting though. I mean, this is probably the biggest piece of news we'll get this week, I think, and actually somewhat kind of maybe at least in a way pertains to us, I guess. Or at least something that I can chime in on and have an input in, have an opinion on. So RT collab when? If Burnie needs a new Jeff, if Burnie needs a Jeff in a Jeff position, I'll talk about it. Maybe not now, I don't know. At some point one day I would like to. Will it ever happen? I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. But it would be cool. It would be cool to, like, you know, take some people that like are seemingly making good stuff and they don't really have like a platform to continue making good stuff, and give them the platform to make cooler stuff. And I don't know, kind of do the same thing that I did. I mean, the same thing that I used to do like all the time, right? Is like I would take an idea and I would usually try to like push it in front of somebody else and make them do it. You know what I mean? Like I would get something dumb and then be like, you know, here, make something with this kind of thing. Like I'd find something stupid. Here's a giant dildo. Go, you know, fucking do. Yeah, I'm an idea guy. An idea guy. Pretty much. Do some dumb shit with this. I mean, I think that would be still fun to do. Still interesting to do. That's probably the only way that I would like enter that type of atmosphere again though, because I do get questions where people ask like if I would make live action stuff again and shit like that, and I feel like that would be the only way I would have to do it. It would have to be like a case where I do a little bit here, a little bit there, you know what I mean? But like for the most part, I'm trying to like give other people a platform.